Hi Shogi fans, it's Hidesh. From this video, we're going to take a look at left silver to 4f strategy. It's one of the variations after this position, which is silver on left to 5G rapid attack, which we covered in other video. So if we do a quick review of this position, we've learned that from this position, white has 4 candidate moves, that is pawn to 6D, 5D, and silver to 4C, and last 1B. And what we learned before is Yamada's Joseki. So if pawn is 6D, you can go for oblique climbing silver. And if 5D, edge bishop attack, or Saginomiya attack. And also if last 1B, Saginomiya attack can also work. But today, what we're going to cover is this. We're going to discuss silver to 4C. Alright, so after silver 4C is played, for example, Saginomiya attack is not going to work because you see the silver is already protecting this square, and actually the rook can also go to here protecting this file, so it's not a good idea to attack simply on the third file with this rook move on 3h. So after you see this silver to 4C, there are two major strategies against it for black. One is, yes, silver on left to 4f strategy, which we'll discuss in these videos. And the other is this pawn to 4f, and this is called pawn to 4e rapid engage. And these two strategies are both very reasonable because after silver to 4c, it is a very good idea to attack on the fourth file, because after white takes it, you see you can bishop trade here, and since the silver cannot recapture, he has to take with the knight, so that means you can break the second file. So that's the idea of pawn to 4e rapid engage, which we'll cover in other videos. And also the one we're discussing here, silver left to 4f strategy, is also reasonable because, if the silver was still on 3b, and let's say he moved the pawn to 6d, in oblique climbing silver, we had to attack like this, sacking the pawn first and then move the silver, because if we move the silver first, white can chase the silver back to 5g anytime, right, with this rook's defense. But you see, in this example, silver to 4c, the rook's defense is blocked, so you can just develop the silver to 4f. There's no way he can open the bishop diagonal here. You can win a pawn here. So it's reasonable. All right, so now let's take a look at silver left to 4f strategy. And the reason I keep calling it left silver to 4f is that actually there is also a strategy that is called right silver to 4f strategy, in which you don't move this left silver and you develop the right silver to 5g, which means black is using a defensive strategy. Probably he's going for left-hand mino or maybe anaguma, but then black can suddenly turn to rapid attack with this move. And this strategy is called right silver to 4f strategy. So in order to discriminate in those two, we call this strategy as left silver to 4f strategy. And if black were to use this strategy, black also has an option of not just going for it and move the gold to 6h, just like in classic Saginomiya's attack. And if white plays pawn to 6d, left silver to 4f strategy will much easier to work, basically because there's no bishop drop on 6d from white. However, if you move the gold to 6h, white usually plays pawn to 5d, and if so, silver to 4f strategy is less likely to succeed, because one example is after this rook to 3b, you attack on the third file, but he ignores it and lands on 1b. And if white gets the chance of moving this pawn and moving this lance at the same time, it's pretty hard for black to break this defense, and we're going to see why. So actually, if you were to use this left silver to 4f strategy, you should, at this position, start the attack. So you play silver to 4f here, okay? All right, now let's take a look at this strategy. And after this silver move, white usually plays rook to 3b, protecting the third file in advance. And then black starts attacking with pawn to 3e. And the primary line, the best reaction for white is actually pawn to 5d, which is very important. And actually, white's moving order can be arbitrarily. After silver move, he can just push the pawn first and then move the rook. It doesn't matter. But in this video, actually, we're not going to go into this main position, the primary position yet, because before that, we have to take a look at what happens if white moves the rook first, as what you see here, and then what if he simply takes a pawn here? Well, this move is not very good, but how should black punish this move? So let's learn it. Okay, so first of all, after pawn takes 3e, how about pawn to 2d? Sacking the pawn before you advance your silver here, like this. How's that? Well, this is a very, very good idea because now it's threatening to attack on the second file. So probably white will open the bishop's diagonal, trying to get rid of that bishop. So bishop trade here, and rook to 3c, attacking the silver. However, here's a very good move from black, and that is pawn to 3f, saving that silver with a pawn. So actually white is kind of trouble. He can't protect the second file anymore, right? So actually this line is very good for black. However, if black plays pawn to 2d at this position, if you take a look at this position carefully, you notice that white can actually take it with the bishop, and he's fine. It's just that black has lost 2 pawns, and it's nothing. So actually, this pawn to 2d is not going to work at this position, which leaves us only this option. Black can only take the pawn here with the silver, just that. All right, so what happens next is, for one thing, pawn to 3d is out of question. Black can just go ahead and attack the second file. You know that, right? So no pawn drop here. All right, how about moving the bishop out of that file, still protecting this square and attacking the silver? Well, in this case, that's too late for white to do that because black can just simply move the rook to here, saving the silver, and actually the silver can advance to here next move after blocking the rook with a pawn, of course. So bishop to 5a is not very good either. And the only option for white is, yes, pawn to 4e. Always, this is the counterattack from white. So black takes the bishop, and yeah, of course, rook takes it, attacking the silver. All right, so what about saving the silver with pawn to 3f here again? Well, but in this case, the pawn sack on 2d is not done yet. So this position is not so good for black because white can simply drop a pawn here. And let's say silver goes back, threatening a bishop drop in the next move. But white can calmly move the rook back to 3b, and white's fine. Black's attack is stopped. So how about at this position, instead of drawing the silver back, how about going ahead pawn to 2d? Well, this is pretty exciting. White will take the silver, but pawn promotion attacking the rook. But rook can go to here in 3d, and if black keeps attacking with promoted pawn, rook can go to 7d. Black has a cool move of this promoted pawn sack. White will calmly take it with the rook. Black can win the knight, but this pawn to 3f is very powerful. And let's say if dragon takes the lance, here's this pawn drop. So actually this position is not so good for black. Black is down material, right? So actually, yeah, pawn drop to 3f at this position is not a good move. So what should black do here? Well, the answer is pawn drop to 3d, attacking the rook. If the rook runs, you can simply go pawn to 2d, and it's simply good for black. So he'll take it with the silver, but don't take it. You move the silver to here on 4d, attacking the rook. And the important thing here is that the lance is still on 1a. So that's why I said don't give white the opportunity to move the lance to 1b. And because of this lance, the rook cannot move back to 3a because of this bishop fork. So rook can only go to 3b, which is still near to black's attackers. So after this, black goes ahead, pawn to 2d, and if he takes it, rook recaptures, and let's say there is a pawn drop on 2c, but can you find a good move here? It's a very famous tactic. Yeah, it's called a focus pawn to 3c, right? If he takes with knight, the silver's gonna fall, so he can only take the rook, but you take the rook too, and the powerful promoted pawn is here, so it's clearly good for black. So actually from this position, we move pawn to 2d. White doesn't take it and move the rook to here, attacking the silver. And if you go ahead promoting it, he'll take the silver and you move the promoted pawn to here, but he can stop the rook by this pawn drop, and this is not good for black. So actually, after rook to 4b, you have to save the silver. And to do that, you drop the bishop to here on 6f. And he can only attack the silver with bishop to 2b, but black's fine, because black can simply move the silver back to 5e. Black can promote this pawn in the next move no matter what. But if at this position, the pawn was here, what I mean is in the case that you move this gold to 6h and gave white the opportunity to move this pawn, well, then it's not so easy for black with this bishop drop or this bishop drop, because the silver cannot move back to 5e, right? So this is another reason that you shouldn't give white one move by moving the gold here. So anyway, at this position, bishop 2b and silver 5e, and black's better. But what you have to be careful is you definitely have to save the silver here to 5e. If you get too violent here and ignore the silver and you just go for it, well, you might want to do that, but this is a very dangerous thing to do. White will take the silver, and of course you're not going to take it back. You sack this promoted pawn, right? Because if the rook takes it, you win the bishop. So after this position, it's one way to go, and it's very exciting. He takes the bishop, you take the rook, the bishop promotes, you take the gold, and you know which is winning here? Well, it's a win for white, because this move is actually a threat mate, and you don't have time to take this gold. I mean, it's not even a threat mate yet, right? And black's king's mating move is easy. See? So be careful. After the bishop drop to 2b, save the silver to 5e, and black's better. Alright, so at this position, we've learned pawn takes 3e today. And in the next video, we don't go into the main line of pawn to 5d yet, because we have to look at another option for white here. That is pawn to 4e, pretty good counterattack. And we're going to see this in the next video. Alright, so hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.